Here we're given a position time graph and we're asked to construct the associated velocity time and acceleration time graphs. We've gone through in previous lessons that the slope of the position time graph is equal to the value of the velocity at any point on a velocity time graph. So we can see here in the position time graph that this is a constant positive slope. So the velocity time graph should look like that. The acceleration time graph is found by looking at the velocity time graph, and the slope of the velocity time graph at any time is the value of the acceleration at that particular time. Well, for this velocity time graph that's shown, the slope at any point is 0. So the acceleration time graph looks like that. This object is undergoing constant motion with no acceleration, going at the same speed for a given amount of time. This object is moving at a constant speed. If we instead have a position time graph that looks like this, we can see that right at the beginning it has a positive slope, but not a very big positive slope. And as we go on, the slope becomes more and more positive. So the velocity time graph might look something like that. The acceleration time graph can be found from the slope of the velocity time graph. This velocity time graph has a constant positive slope, so the acceleration time graph should look something like that. This is an object that is speeding up. The third case has a position time graph that looks like that. Initially, this slope is positive and a fairly large positive number. And then it's still positive, but not as much. Still positive, but not as much. Still positive, but not as much. So the velocity time graph should look something like this, where it starts out a very positive number and decreases somewhat to a less positive number. The acceleration time graph is found by looking at the slope of the velocity time graph. This is a negative slope that is constant, so the acceleration time graph looks like that. This would be an object that's slowing down.